Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, April 7th, day after a tough Yankees loss to the Pirates. And Vladdy Jr. got a $500 million contract extension from the Toronto Blue Jays. I got to say, I think that's too much. I think it's an overpay. I never really wanted the Yankees to get Vladdy because I feel like he's one of those guys that is going to age poorly. His body type, he's a bigger dude. And I don't mean bigger in the way the Judge is big, like big and strong. I mean, he's kind of, heavier. And I think he's going to have problems with his lower half, kind of like Miguel Cabrera had towards the end of his career. So 14 years, $500 million, maybe 10 years, $500 million is what they should have done. But, yeah, not a great contract, in my opinion, for the Blue Jays. Orlando Perez says, good morning, how you feeling? I tell you what, my mood is directly correlated to how the Yankees are doing. And when they lose a tough game like they did yesterday, I wake up and I'm on the wrong side of the bed. And this morning I was walking my dog and getting my little exercise in. And I thought I was going to be able to sneak in a quick walk before the rain. I had asked my Alexa, I can't say her name loud or else she'll start talking. I had asked her, if it was going to rain. They said rain is expected in about 2 hours. And so I said, all right, well, I can work a 20-minute walk in. So I get about 10 minutes out. I'm about a half mile away, and it just starts pouring. It just starts pissing. And so we had to run home. And my dog, Pepper, is like trying to run and cover her face at the same time because she doesn't like getting the water in her eyes. I don't blame her. But yeah, tough morning. But yeah, I would rather the Yankees lost by 10 runs than have a great comeback like that and then lose in extra innings. And, when you combine it with the horrible ending of the White Lotus last night, it was just a tough night for Yankees fans and White Lotus fans. But let's talk a little bit about Devin WIlliams. It's a long season, and there's plenty of time for Devin WIlliams to turn it around. But I've seen more fans on Twitter, on YouTube, in the comments, getting concerned over Devin WIlliams. And I understand where you're coming from because, what the Brewers said, or the Brewers announcers said when he was dealing the other day, was that he makes a mess. It's a high wire act, right? He's one of these guys who nibbles and he tries to trick you. Airbender. He's not a flamethrower. He's not a guy who's going to come in there like Mason Miller and throw 104, 105 miles an hour. Now, MLB's evaluation system, they call it the shredder. They call him the best relief pitcher in baseball. So far, he's not instilling a ton of confidence in me because I don't see a ton of confidence in him. Last night, we can't really put entirely on him because the Manfred runner was on second base. It's a very difficult task for a pitcher to come in with nobody out and a runner on second base and get out of the inning. In fact, if you do it, it's a pretty impressive task. But, he obviously had trouble. He had trouble on opening day. And you look at him and you don't see a ton of confidence, right? Confidence is something that's very easy to see in pitchers. Tempo. Confident pitchers work quickly. They work with a rhythm. If a guy is constantly stepping off or shaking off signs or slowing the game down, he's likely second-guessing himself, not as confident in his pitches. Body language, you look for the shoulders back, the head up, someone who's confident out there. If they're slumped, if they're showing visible frustration after a bad call or getting hit, that screams the opposite of confidence. Fastball usage in tough spot. I like guys who can confidently throw the fastball for strikes and get outs with the fastball. If you throw 95, 96 miles an hour, you can't be afraid to use it. When the game's on the line, a confident pitcher sticks with their best stuff. A lack of confidence shows when they avoid their heater or try and get cute. And I see him trying to get cute with that airbender, the screwball, whatever you want to call it. Reactions to mistakes. A bad call or a hit, and they get shaken. They look shaken. If a guy spirals after a couple of bad calls or a bad pitch, their belief in themselves is probably a little fragile. And strike zone aggression. I like guys who throw strikes, and he doesn't throw a lot of strikes. Now, maybe he's going to turn out being one of the best pitchers in the American League. That's what the stats over his career would tell you. His stuff is obviously wicked, but I want to see him nibble less. I want to see more confidence, more presence out there. And maybe I'm nitpicking, but so far he doesn't seem very comfortable in that role and doesn't seem very comfortable with the Yankees. Now, maybe there's a lot of extra pressure, a lot of extra media that comes with that. He had the whole beard scenario where he was dead set against shaving his beard to the point where he probably told Brian Cashman, hey, I'm leaving if you don't let me, or I'm sitting out. That screams a lack of confidence if you're that uncomfortable. So my concerns are growing. They're not, peak concerns like they were whenever Clay Holmes was in the game. But I think you're right to be a little bit concerned that he has struggled. And Jeff says that his fastball topped out at 92 miles an hour yesterday. I did not realize that. If that's true, that's also concerning because he's a guy who typically throws 94, 95. Now, it is early in the year. It can take closers a lot of time to ramp up because they don't get a lot of work in spring training. So, I don't blame you if you're a little bit worried. I am too. Anthony Volpe. Hard to figure. He has been swinging the bat well, but, hopefully he can come through against the Tigers, who have some tough left-handed pitching. We're going to talk about him when we get to the inside edge portion of the show. But if he's going to keep swinging the bat like he did in this series, that's going to go a long way to helping with the Yankees' left-handed struggles. He has been raking extra base hits. And I know last time that we did one of these shows, we talked about all the home runs, but he didn't have any hits that weren't home runs. Well, now he's added that mix into his bag. He's got some base hits up the middle. He's hitting the ball to the right side. And the Tigers have a really good pitching staff. We're going to face Casey Mize today, and then Tariq Skubal tomorrow, and then Jack Flaherty on Wednesday. I think much as the beginning of last season when Volpe was getting on base all the time, that this offense is going to click when he's hitting and driving in runs because he's going to get opportunities. He's hitting at the bottom of the order now, bottom half of the order a lot of times. He's hit fifth, I think, once or twice. So he's in RBI positions. He's not at the top of the order. He's coming up with guys on base, and he's delivering. Let's go to the inside edge because I wanted to kind of build into this. Whoops, I forgot to update the thing on the screen here. Anthony Volpe, not Merrill Kelly. Sorry. Little early morning issue. All right, so 50% of his contact so far, this is the point I wanted to make, is to the opposite field so far. That is first in Major League Baseball. He is, even though it looks like he's trying to pull every time, he's actually hitting a lot of balls the other way. He's been really great at getting on base so far, especially against the Pirates on the road. .533 on base percentage in that series. Fourth best in Major League Baseball. He's slugging .867 on fastball. So if you throw him the heater, he is not missing. That's fourth in Major League Baseball. Now, a couple of his home runs were, Yankee Stadium short porch shots. One to left, one to right, actually, at Yankee Stadium that wouldn't have gone out at Tiger Stadium or Comerica Park. But he is hitting the fastball well, and he's going to see some fastballs in this series. And he ranks fourth in third base steal attempts since 2023. So he is aggressive if he gets to second base. All right, let's talk about the NostraDerek prediction. We haven't made one of these in a few days. My prediction today, Goldschmidt is going deep. He has been swinging the bat well, line drives all over the field. He looks super comfortable up there. He took one the opposite way off the wall. I think he's heating up. I think he is in the process of putting together his power stroke. And so he is my prediction for tonight. We are 3 for 6 on the season, trying to keep that average over 500. What's 4 for 7? I think it's like what? 571. So trying to raise the average 70 points with this. Let's take a look at the Yankees' stats so far this season. And we'll highlight Paul Goldschmidt, who is hitting .324 with 3 walks, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He struck out 8 times in 38 plate appearances, so that's a little bit high. Jazz Chisholm, you see 17 strikeouts in 42 plate appearances, leading the league. You see that Aaron Judge has 17 RBIs. That leads the league. Also 6 home runs and 14 runs scored, hitting .324. Anthony Volpe, who we just talked about, hitting .297, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and actually leading the Yankees in WAR, 0.8, tied with Aaron Judge. Jazz Chisholm slightly behind at 0.7, and Trent Grisham charging forward with a great series against the Pirates. Ben Rice hitting .320 so far with a couple of home runs. Jason Dominguez, tough day yesterday, hitting .242, but a nice on-base percentage of .342. You know, you like that he is walking. He's got 4 walks. That's that's third on the team. Judge and Rice both have 5. So we got some young guys with some patience. Wells has 4. Rice has 5. So, you know, you look at the pitching. Obviously, pitching is going to be a big problem if we don't start getting some depth, you know, from the rotation guys. Will Warren knocked out early again yesterday. He's only thrown 9 innings in 2 starts. Marcus Stroman only thrown 8 2/3 in his 2 starts. Now, we do have Clark Schmidt hopefully coming back soon. Our Genius wants a comparison between Oswaldo and Peraza. Let's take a look. So Oswaldo Cabrera, let me just deselect some of these, hitting .316 with 4 ribbies. He's got 6 hits, no extra base hits yet. Peraza has a couple of doubles, .364. He is 4 for 11, so, you know, less at bats, but he's had a little bit of pop, home run, and a couple of doubles. You look at the OPS, 1.182, as opposed to Cabrera's .697. So far, Peraza in limited time has outplayed Cabrera. So good question there. All right, well, we're going to take a quick sponsor message here from HungryRoot, and then we got a few voicemails to get to, and early game today. So we'll be back in about 60 seconds.
Kratz, do you like spending an hour on grocery shopping?
Nope. Speed up the process, please.
Introducing HungryRoot to the FT fam.
Now we can all be bougie with our own personal shopper to handle the food shopping, including recs based on what you're looking to put in your body.
I stack my HungryRoot box with items like gluten-free, dairy-free blueberry waffles for breakfast, shrimp veggie bowls for lunch, and a little filet mignon with potatoes and broccolini for dinner.
You can also say just, hey, HungryRoot, I eat paleo, or I'm vegetarian, and they load up your cart with personalized recommendations.
And those recs keep evolving as they learn about what you're into. Also, no BS, as in no artificial sweeteners or preservatives in any of HungryRoot's food. You're going to love HungryRoot as much as FT does. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/FT and use code FT. That's hungryroot.com/FT, code FT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
What do you hear? What do you say?
All right. We have reached the audience participation portion of the show. Got a quick call about our starting pitching.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm worried about the starting pitching. When you have to run out Carrasco, Warren, and Stroman out for the time being, that's really rough, to be honest. Luckily, we get Clark Schmidt back pretty soon. I saw he had a really good start in the minor leagues, his ramp up. And then when Luis Gil gets back, I think we'll be all right. Thanks
The
for the
problem
call.
is that pitching is so important that you really can't afford a bad few months from somebody. It can sink you. You got to have consistent, good starting pitching. I know that we've been a little bit rough on Will Warren. I'm going to pull up Will Warren on StatCast. I know that I guess the nerds love Will Warren. Personally, I don't see it. Let's take a look at his numbers here. Got good breaking ball. That's about it. The breaking ball run value's in the 93rd percentile. Yeah, he gets whiffs. Got pretty good extension. But fastball won't impress you that much. He doesn't throw that many strikes. And guys hit the ball hard. Ultimately, that's what will tell you if you're a good pitcher. Now, look at off-speed run value. In the last percentile, he's the worst in the league. He's not good. I know people love our prospects and they love to dream on guys. But I'm just keeping it realistic. I haven't seen anything from Will Warren to impress me. Carrasco, he's at least got a veteran pedigree and experience. Sometimes you can count on those guys to put together 5 or 6 good starts. Usually they don't give you a bounce back full season at this age because health-wise they start to break down. But sometimes you can get a couple of good months out of those guys, and that's what I'm hoping for from Carlos Carrasco. The solution to all of this is going to have to be a trade, I think. I think the Yankees are going to have to part with some of their young prospects to go out and get somebody to offset the loss of Garrett Cole and to offset the loss of 3 months of Luis Gil. Now, Gil will be back, but we don't know how strong he's going to be. Is he going to be pitching with full confidence in his shoulder, or is he going to be holding back? Our pitching has got to go deeper into games. As Eric C. says, with our starting pitching only lasting 4 to 5 innings, this will really tax our bullpen by June, July. You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. We have got to get deeper starts out of our pitching. And quite frankly, that's on Brian Cashman. That's something that he has to do. He has to get off his ass and go out there and find a pitcher.
So tell me why it is that all the average and below average players are the ones that always hurt the Yankees. And it's always the same players. Like as soon as I saw that Haney was the pitcher today, I took all of the Yankees players that I have on my fantasy team and put them on the bench because I knew he was going to dominate, even though he's a scrub. And then the beginning of the series, I was teaching my daughter, like my daughter watches all the Yankees games with me, and I told her how much I hate Tommy Pham because he's an utter scrub. He's on a different team every single year, and no matter what team he's on, he has to perform against the Yankees, either a home run or a double or some kind of RBI. And of course, he has to be the guy to get the game-winning hit for the Pirates against the Yankees. Every time, those same type of players, no matter what team they're on, they always have to be the reason why the Yankees lose a game. So predictable.
Appreciate the call. You know, you're not wrong. It does seem like a lot of ex-Yankees come back to bite us. That's one of the reasons that, I mean, I'm not glad that Gleyber Torres is hurt, but I had a feeling like he was going to rip the Yankees in this series. Guys seem to get a little bit of extra motivation when they come back and play the Yankees after leaving them. You know, I remember even Tino Martinez. Phil Hughes shut out the Yankees with the Twins. Like, I don't think he'd ever thrown a shutout in his life. Guys come back and they stick it to the Yankees for whatever reason. And yeah, Tommy Pham. I mean, I like Tommy Pham as a player. He's a veteran. But, you know, can't let him beat you there, especially with the base open. He's one of the Pirates' only decent players.
Hey, Derek. Just want to say the base running seems a lot more clean and crisp this year. And also, Andrew McCutchen spent some time in pinstripes a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. That's the message is over. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, the base running has looked better. I mean, Bellinger and Dominguez have been a big part of that. Dominguez is an above average base runner. Bellinger's a smart ball player. Goldschmidt doesn't make mistakes on the bases because he knows he's not fast. He's not trying to be fast. I think part of the problem was that Gleyber Torres and Juan Soto both thought they were fast, but they're not. And so they would get thrown out all the time. And yeah, I liked Andrew McCutchen as a player, as a Yankee. I felt bad that he had to shave his head. He had those glorious locks, and then he had to shave them.
Hey, Derek. I'm Isaiah from Connecticut. After watching the last game, one thing that I've been worried about was just Volpe and his swing lately. It's kind of feel like it's been all or nothing, strikeout, high pop-up, or home run. And so I was encouraged by the game today, because it was a lot of, it was more ground balls, up the middle. He had another hit to the right side of the field. I feel like if he can put that together with how he started the season, then he could be a very dangerous and complete hitter this year. So I was encouraged by that.
So I couldn't remember if we'd played this voicemail or not, but I had it in my inbox and I had it saved, so I wanted to make sure that we put it out there. But yeah, just a final thought on Volpe, who we talked about at the beginning of the show. He's so hard to figure out because at points he looks absolutely lost, and sometimes he is just so good and gets such big hits. So he is a pick to click in this series because there is a lot of room in Comerica Park for doubles and triples and gappers, and he's been hitting a lot of those. So if he makes contact, look for some extra base hits from Volpe in this series. Look for a big series from Paul Goldschmidt. But it is not going to be easy. The pitching matchups do not line up with the Yankees having an advantage, except possibly in today's game. Casey Mize versus Carlos Rodon. We got Carrasco versus Skubal tomorrow. That is not going to be easy. We're going to need the captain to step up tomorrow. We're going to need the captain to take Skubal deep, and we're going to need somebody to get on base for him. And then game 3, we've got, I can't remember who's pitching for the Yankees, but we're facing Jack Flaherty. So it's going to be a interesting series. I'll be back with a post-game show today around 6 p.m. Be sure to call in, all that good stuff, and we'll see you then. Catch you later. Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.